is sponsored by Shopify, but more on them later. Hi friends, welcome to another video. If you don't know me, my name's Tammy. I also go by Uncomfy because your girl's a little anxious. Today's a more casual video. I just want to sit down and talk to you guys about all the life updates and like reflections and revelations that I've made during my time away from handmade art. And after this chat, we'll actually start sculpting, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, let's get to it. It's almost been a full year since I've sold any of my handmade art. 6 months ago, I even uploaded this video, which is so cringy for me to look back on now because I want to go back to handmade art. If you've been following my journey for a while, you know that I started my cozy clay business when I was just 19 years old. I'm 24 now, almost 25, which comes with all sorts of quarter life crisis feelings and turmoil and change and things that I need to deal with myself. But one big question that was constantly looming over me at the time was how sustainable is all of this? Like, how sustainable is my career? In hindsight, this question is fairly pragmatic, but it actually was rooted in a lot of anxiety and insecurity for me, rather than just like thinking logistically. For example, growing up, my dad was a mortgage broker, and at the time he found that job to be very stable and very fruitful. But then in 2008, the economy crashed and we lost basically everything. So I feel like that seed of insecurity is still in me. So while I was actively doing something that I loved, which was making handmade art, there is this thing inside of me that was screaming like, this won't last forever. You need to have a plan B and you need to be prepared to find something else that you love. Thinking about it now, it just makes me really sad. I didn't think I'd get this emotional, but I think now I'm just realizing, talking about this, like I really left this version of Tammy, this like wholesome, cozy Tammy, to pursue something that I thought was better in the long run, which was running a business. I was consuming a lot of like Colin and Samir and like Diary of a CEO, and I was seeing what other YouTubers were doing, and mainly what they were doing was making huge product-based businesses and scaling them up and making huge teams and working with tons of other people, and that's what I thought I wanted. So this whole past year I was working on that. I was working on plushies and I was hiring editors to edit videos for me so I could focus on the business and whatnot. Although I'll be the first one to say I didn't like do it properly. I didn't really have my full heart in it. That's exactly what the problem was. This whole year I've kind of just felt lost and not like me. Throughout this whole process, I've learned that I don't actually really enjoy the business aspect of it as much as I thought I did. I like the bare minimum aspect. I like the marketing and the storytelling aspect of it. But more than that, I just like to make art. And I like to edit my own videos, even if it's less efficient. Even if I'm losing out on money by making less videos, I don't like the version of myself that was so consumed by the business and the money of it all. That's not to say that this year wasn't a good year though. I feel like because I stepped away from my studio for once, this has been the year that I've traveled the most and met the most people and come back so inspired to work on my craft again. So that was one really, really good thing about taking this break. I think I really needed this break because I was just working myself to the ground. Basically, what I'm telling myself now is like, I'm not gonna concern myself too much about the future, because the way that my brain works right now, thinking about the future just like gives me anxiety and I rabbit hole into like very negative and destructive thoughts. Instead, I want to live more presently and use my current purpose in life to lead me into the future. One thing that's really helped me reframe my mindset around this is the concept of ikigai. Ikigai is the Japanese concept of finding your purpose in life. It translates roughly to your reason for being. It's like a Venn diagram of these 4 circles: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. And in the center of those 4 circles is ikigai. So this past year when I was just making plushies and manufactured goods, I didn't really feel like it was something that the world needed. And this is subjective, of course. You could reframe almost anything into something that someone needs. But plainly speaking, there's already so much plushies and stuff in the world, and I don't need to contribute more to that. Or at least my life purpose isn't to contribute more to that. What I really like about this table is that, like, if you're only doing what you're good at and what you can be paid for, it shows here that you can be comfortable, but you'll have a feeling of emptiness. And what I'm feeling right now is that the world needs more art. People are craving connection with others, things that are handmade and tactile and just feel like they have a lot of love put into them. With AI and technology advancing at a scary, rapid pace, there is something so beautiful about the slowness of handmade art. More than anything, I just want to be more intentional about what I put out into the world, because as an artist, like, I have the choice, the freedom to choose what I put out into the world. And that's why I'm glad this year I've really only put out like 2 new things, which were my heatable plushies and of course my coloring books. Some people may think the coloring books were so out of left field, but they're really not a money grab. I really don't make any money off of these books at all. But our second volume especially is something that I'm really proud of. It's something that I made with my best friend, and it's just another really accessible way for people to interact with the Uncomfy world and make art of their own. I want to continue to make things that I'm really proud of. I want to make sure that people can like feel my like love and intention with everything I put out. There's this huge fear that like I'm making a big mistake by going back to handmade. It's incredibly hard work, but I think it's just something that's like calling to me right now, at least at this point in my life. So when I think about what I love, what I'm good at, what the world needs, and what I can be paid for, thankfully, it all goes back to my art. My whole life, it's been the one constant thing that's allowed me to connect with people, even strangers who have never seen polymer clay before. When I show them pictures of what I used to make, their faces always light up, and they always talk about their daughters or their family members who are also artists, and it's just something that it's so precious to me. Thank you guys for going along the ride with me. Thinking about how much my business has changed over the years makes me kind of emotional. Like, I'm still so amazed at 19-year-old Tammy starting off with 100% handmade art. It's ironically something that I distanced myself from, and now I'm going back to it, like back to the root of where I started, pun intended, because I used to only sculpt radishes. And around this time last year, I was doing something completely different from what I'm doing now. I was preparing to ship out like 1,000 plushies all in my parents' house, and now I'm preparing to sell 1,000 coloring books this holiday season. And throughout all of those changes, the one constant thing in my business has been my use of Shopify. Shopify is how I run my business. It's a launch pad for any kind of entrepreneur, yes, even uncomfy ones like me, giving us the tools we need to turn our little ideas into successful businesses, whether it's online or in person. From selling handmade products to my plushies and coloring books, and even digital items like my printable pages, Shopify has allowed me to create all of those into a reality. I won't get into the nitty-gritty, but I know a lot of you guys have the goal of starting your business this year, and if there's anything that I would recommend to start a business, it's this. You can start your free trial right now by going to shopify.com/uncomfy. Again, that's shopify.com/uncomfy. Can you guys hear me? If I want to go back to handmade art, I want to do it right this time. I don't want to push my body towards its limit. I need to take care of my physical health. So that means stretching, taking water breaks, eating, working out, and going to bed at a reasonable time. Also, at some point, I need to get a standing desk in here. But the main point is I just need to take care of myself this time. That means setting realistic expectations, setting boundaries. But if you're anything like me, how do you even do that? For me, my main motivation is basically making art for the love of it. If I set my intention in that manner, it'll be okay. I think in the past, pre-orders always stressed me out so much, so I'm not gonna do pre-orders. I'm just gonna make like however I can make in a month and have a drop at the end of each month. So in the case of this month where I'm gonna be traveling next week, or if I'm super busy with like editing and other things, then it is what it is, you know? Some drops I'll have less and some drops I'll have more. I'm really not gonna to put too much pressure on myself because I want to have room for some creative growth as well. That's what I felt I was lacking in previous years. I was just making the same thing over and over and over again and not really trying anything new. Like in the year that I haven't been sculpting, there's so many cool like fidget spinners and gadgets that people have been adding onto their sculpts, and I want to try doing that. I also want to try making really big things again. I only made this one big Maxine lamp like last year or 2 years ago, and I want to try making more big things. But first, let's start small. I think it'd be really cute if this month I focused on the characters from our Fall into Winter book. Ali did such an amazing job at bringing these characters to life in their own way, and I want to recreate these scenes but in clay. Making these mushroom tops is like putting on a hat and seeing if it fits. So it's been a few hours. I did something that I've never done before. I basically wrapped this brown clay around a glass bowl and I baked it. I didn't film it because I was very terrified that this glass would shatter. Let's see if this pops off. I did have to slice a little part to get it off. Look how shiny that is. It's like tempered chocolate. But the crack is okay because I'm still gonna add little wood planks around, but we basically have the shape of a basket. Like imagine a radish and all of these apples sitting in there. I think it's gonna be cute.
I will make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time. I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight.
Good morning, friends. It's been a couple days. I wanted this video to come out much sooner, but Mr. Uncomfy and I got a little sick. Get your flu shots this season, kids. So we've been feeling a bit under the weather, and I just didn't want to use resin or anything like that. I just wanted to like rest. But now we are back in business. I have all my little apples ready to glaze. Okay, the one thing I will say about this basket, it looks pretty fine from here, but on the inside, like if you were to make your own basket, I would highly recommend adding additional wood planks on the inside or additional woven details. I think that'd be so cute. For my purposes, this is just for me to put like my watch or rings in or something. I think this is fine. This is the resin I'm using. I'm gonna be putting on my respirator and my eye mask soon. I also have my ceiling fan going, and I'm gonna open this window.
Just watch me breaking your spell. You're falling into me, touch me. I swear you will do anything that I want. So keep us awake till the dawn. Ooh, baby, feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me.
All right, you guys, I finally finished this apple basket scene with the mushroom radish spirit. The apples are so satisfying. I'm very, very happy with this. And now I have the perfect place to put my watch and my rings while I sculpt.
그대 미소에 난 취한 것 같아 자꾸만 웃음이 나 어린아이 장난 같아
다정한 밤 공기가 적당한 걸 바랬던 나를 돼 다른 음악이 돼 달콤해 그대와 나는 한 잔에
그냥 콜라보다 달달한 그 말
So this morning I was supposed to get a lot of computer work and editing done today, but I was just feeling so dejected and sad and tired. Like I could barely open my eyes. And if I had just stayed at my desk, I honestly would have fallen asleep and just gotten nothing done today. But I'm so proud of myself. I decided to like get up, took Winnie for another walk. It was so windy and cold outside. I instantly regretted it. But when I came back, I was like energized, and I stepped into my apartment, saw how beautiful my pottery station was, and I decided to throw on the wheel for the first time in a while. You guys, I am so proud of this cute little vase. I know this may seem really small and simple, but this is truly the best thing I've made on the wheel in a long time. For reference, this was the first thing I made today. It's like a very wonky cup. I might not even keep it. I might just recycle the clay because it's so wonky and heavy. But yeah, I'm so happy with this. I want to hold on to this feeling forever. The feeling of making something and being proud of it, even though it's not perfect. I can't believe I made this. This is so cool. It just feels so good to make things. This may sound cheesy, but this is what I was put on this earth to do. I think I really want to try to do this like every day. I want to wake up in the morning and have this be like my creative time. She's so cute.
Rusty red on her shoulder, I was cleaning her shoe when it clicked on the trot over in the bright morning dew. We brushed and we braided dandy